everyone. My name is Katie Tesla, and this is the Jess Strom Show. It's Tuesday, February 4th. Love is in the air. We have two lovable people with us today on this Valentine's Day month. We have Miss Alicia Young, junior, guard, forward, whatever you want to call it, versatility player. And we have student manager, Kasia Mack. Ladies, how are we doing today?
I'm doing all right.
You doing good, Mac?
I'm hanging in there.
You're hanging in there. All right. Yeah. For the people that don't know you, which everyone here should know these people on campus and Vulcan Nation, you know, come on, popular cats right here. We got Alicia. Can you introduce yourself to the fans and friends and family of Cal U women's basketball?
Hey guys, I'm Alicia Young. I am a junior here at Cal U, and I'm from McKees Rocks.
What's your major?
Pennsylvania. I'm a business management major.
Make that money.
Yep.
Mac, introduce yourself for the people out there.
What's up, y'all? I'm Kasia Mack. I like it. I like it if you call me Mac. Just, it's better for me.
That's your whole vibe.
Yeah. I'm from McKeesport, and my major is graphic design.
Jeez.
And I love it.
You're on that computer all the time. Doing that work. So, now that we have you here, first time on the show this year, not first time ever. Mac, first time ever for you.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about your experience so far here at Cal U. What your thoughts are, just in general, both academically, athletically. You know, just talk about your experience so far.
My experience has been just overall learning experience.
Growth.
A ton. Coming to school, there was things very new to me and things that I was super unaware of that I had to learn and adapt to. So it's just been a learning experience overall. It's been great. It's a great opportunity.
Yep. And Mac, for you, what's your experience like? Now, obviously, this is the first year being a manager of the Cal U women's basketball team, but even before that, how's your experience been at Cal? Like, what have you loved? You know, also, what do you like about the position? Both things.
It has not been easy coming here, but I'm grateful because I'm on a scholarship to go here. I have a full ride, and I'm grateful. But it has not been easy. You know, college is hard, but, you know, managing your time and doing all that, you know, that's the fun part, you know, trying to make a way. But for the basketball team, early days. But
Mac, people don't know, at the manager, you have to be here. I mean, you come to film too, which is, I mean, Mac, you're a dedicated manager.
Yeah.
In film, watching film with the squad, working the clock, you know, having to deal with, let's see, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 personalities, including the staff, players, and athletic trainer.
Yeah.
Doing it, you know, getting all that together, kind of can be tough.
It was tough, but now I know everyone, you know, and everyone. It's a nice opportunity as well, but it's a nice vibe. I feel like we all just vibe with each other.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Alicia, talk to us a little bit about the season so far. You know, obviously ups and downs, which, you know, can happen in a basketball season. Talk to us about how it's been so far and, you know, where it's been difficult, but where you've seen some growth, where you've seen some challenges, where you might see overcome adversity. You know, just talk a little bit about season so far.
Team-wise or personally?
Whatever you want to do. How about both? Personally first.
Okay, I'll start with personal. It has just been up and down for me. I feel like I grew a lot from, you know, my freshman and my sophomore year. I think I took leaps, but I still think there's a ton of growing to do. And it's very easy for me to get caught up in the moment, you know, and not see the overall bigger picture of what the situation or the problems have been. And I just would like to continue to grow and become a good player, a great player.
Yeah, and team-wise, where do you think we were? Where do you think we are? Where do you think we can go?
So for our team, at the start of the season, I feel like we were just kind of trying to find our identity. Like, Who
are we? What are we about, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
We have there's three solid players who got a few years under our belts, you know, and everyone else is pretty much new to the team and the program. So like, it just was like about mashing together and finding each other and chemistry. And I think like we just been searching for that like throughout the season, but recently, I feel like we found our strength and our foundation of who we are. And I just would like to really finish strong. But we faced a lot of adversity throughout our season.
Yeah, for sure. And, sometimes with adversity comes results. You're either going to, what do they say? You're either going to win or you're going to learn. And there was a lot of learning moments and different things like that. What do you think that you've learned about yourself so far?
There's a lot.
There's no wrong answer. But, for people that don't know, you came obviously from Stowe Rocks.
Yeah.
By far,
Yeah.
I would think the best athlete and player on your team. And then you had to come to Cal as a freshman and really, work. That year you came as a freshman, we won the PSAC championship.
Yeah.
Obviously you fell over the... For people that don't know, it was still one of my favorite memories of all time, of any basketball moment.
The fact that I got it on film is gold.
We were in the locker room celebrating the big victory, and Alicia was filming, and she tripped over something, and the camera went, but I saw the whole thing. And I just think of how young, you were in that moment. And you had the opportunity to play some. Like, you were being challenged at a very young age to come in and understand a difficult system. Then you made a big leap last year from freshman to sophomore year, and then a completely different role for you now.
Yeah.
So this whole time has just been learning to be somebody else.
Yeah.
Learning to grow into what you are expected here at Cal U. And I think that the growth has just been tremendous in terms of where you started and where you are now, and also with a high ceiling still left to go. Sky's the limit, we always say, and expectations are high. The effort level is required. What has been challenging for you to meet some of those standards?
I'm gonna be completely honest. The most challenging has been time management. I don't give myself enough time to get to places on time or, do anything.
Always rushing that, Alicia.
Exactly.
But don't you think it's a little bit different from the time?
A group for sure. I would have been late to this meeting if it was a year or two ago. But I was here before you guys, so.
Ooh, clock that.
Exactly. So it's been growth for sure. And I still think I got a long way to go. I just think it's with just, breathe in, giving myself some time and not kind of being delusional on if I have this amount of time to do this or not. Like, just being factual and looking at the time and just being on it.
Look at that. Love that growth. Mac, talk about some of maybe your growth experiences that you've had. Even from the beginning of the year being the women's basketball manager to now, I feel like you kind of got it down pat, drills. For those that don't know, she has to know what the points are for each drill. You have to pay attention. You got 14 people breathing down your neck, making sure that the score is correct. Because for those that don't know, we run after every drill, there's a winner and a loser. And Mac is in charge of the time and the score. And man, if she doesn't get that, there's going to be some voices. How have you grown? Just kind of understanding how we play, Mac?
All right, so at the beginning of the season, when I first got accepted to the job, I was tired all the time. I was tired. I just wasn't getting used to waking up. So y'all don't know, but I have 2 8 a.m.s just back to back. And practice is either 6 or 7, so I gotta go. But, sometimes I gotta be late. But at the beginning of the season, I would just be so tired all the time and then trying to lock in. But
for classes and stay awake.
Yeah. But now, I do my job. I'll be slacking sometimes,
But
my work.
But Mac, this is great learning experience for you in terms about the real world.
Yeah.
You got to get up, you got to get ready, you got to be focused, you got to be ready to go, and then you got to finish your day and your work. So it's just like here with your work study job, taking that serious, going right to class, getting things done, and then once you get things done, then you can relax and have a wonderful day.
Yeah.
Right?
Just like that.
Yeah, it's all about preparation. I think we say that all the time. We try to relate that. You've heard those speeches. I feel like, where do those speeches come from? Certainly.
This guy. This guy.
But we do. We try to relate it to the real world. Like, hey, when you get out of here, this is what you're going to have to do. Do you feel like this opportunity and this way of life that you have here being a student athlete is going to really shape the way you look at your next stop
For
in
sure.
terms of graduating and getting a
For
job.
sure.
100%.
And I think that's why I take it so seriously, because I feel like this kind of sending us off into the real world. You know, with the work that we're putting in here is the work ethic that we're going to carry with us. And yeah, so
Yep.
on.
Well, we always say, basically, even in your assignments, what you turn in is you are saying who you are.
Mm-hmm.
This is me. This is how much I care. And some assignments, if you don't put the effort in, it's basically saying, I don't care. But if you're putting work in, if you're being on time, if you're engaged in practice, if you're engaged in your classes, you're going to see results. And I feel like maybe you have been a part of that,
Mm-hmm.
where you have started. It was tough coming in academically. I remember you sitting in study hall for hours upon hours upon hours. And now, I mean, you're not even in study hall anymore. You took yourself.
Let's clock tea, audience.
Yes.
Let's clock tea.
Yes. So, I mean, you have worked yourself into a place where you feel strong academically, but it took time.
For sure.
It took effort.
It sure
But
did.
isn't that the real world, guys?
Yeah.
You know, you just don't get things by, sleeping on the pillow. You have to be up. You have to be active. You have to care.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we are trying to teach here every day, is, be aware, be alert, be engaged, be active, and what you put in is what you're going to get out of. So what are you guys most looking forward to? Let's start with you. What are you most looking forward to as, we are in the second half of the PSAC West season? What are you most looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to our team playing our strongest, and if winning out, if that's possible, and winning this conference championship. Like, I think anything's possible, and seedings and rankings don't mean a thing, because at the end of the day, we're
Anybody
starting the
can
game at 0-0. So let's do it. As long as our team is on the same page with that and really wants it, I think we can accomplish that.
But you got to get in first.
Exactly.
You got to do the work first, game by
Exactly.
game. Mac, what do you see for this team? What are you excited to see this team be?
I am excited for just like the growth, just finishing off strong and just going as far as we can, keeping our head in the game.
There you go. And for people that might be thinking about Cal U, say these young adults that are seniors in high school and looking for a place to go, what would you say is great about Cal U? What would you say to entice someone to want to come here?
You start.
I would say if you want to be a graphic design major, this is the perfect school for you.
You love it?
Yes, I do.
Professors are awesome.
Wouldn't want to change it, and you learn a lot from my professors, because one thing about my professors are, they showed me their work, their mistakes, and just
That's awesome.
just everything, and it's very relatable, and you gain a relationship, and how being a graphic designer out of college is going to be. So
That's awesome.
Really,
That's great. I love to hear that side of it, that closeness that you have, those relationships. To me, that's what makes Cal U or the people. The institution is great. The buildings are great. I mean, look at the facility that we play in. I mean, look at our film room. Look at our locker room.
Yeah.
Those are great, but that would mean nothing without the people that are filled with it. So, Alicia, for you, what would be something that you, even for basketball, for academics, for anything, what do you think has been the best part about you being here?
I don't think I could sum it all into one about the best part, but I will give a piece of advice. And I think, like, if you're looking for some place that's just like open and accepting, come to Cal. Like, you don't have to be this person or this image of what society makes. Like, come as yourself and find your people. I think it's very accepting and open to, just
All different
difference.
walks of life.
Yeah. So come experience, find your group and
Find your
your
groove.
flow.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I think you could be successful that way.
That's awesome. Well, you heard it here from two amazing young women, Alicia Young, Cal U Women's Basketball, Kasia Mack, amazing student manager. Best of the best here, folks. We're coming back the second half of the Jess Strom Show with Miss Jess Strom herself.
The Vulcan women's basketball team looks to continue its run of excellence into the 2024 season. Put on your red and black and cheer on Coach Jess Strom and her team towards another run to the postseason. Pack the convo for 14 home games for games against regional foes and the best the PSAC has to offer. Don't miss any information on the season by following Cal Vulcans on all social media accounts And if you can't make it to the games, catch all the action on CUTV Sports 1 on YouTube and also the PSAC Digital Network.
1 in 10 kids vape. Each vape pod can contain the same amount of nicotine as a pack of cigarettes.
The Health Class Film Guy isn't the best person to talk to your kid about vaping.
Got a few minutes?
You are. Talk to your child about vaping today.
The Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference celebrates the athletic and academic excellence of its student athletes. Last year, over 4,000 achieved at least a 3.25 GPA to earn recognition as a PSAC Scholar Athlete. Athletically, over 70 PSAC teams qualified for the NCAA championships. Champions on the field, champions in the classroom, making the PSAC proud.
And we're back with the second half of the Jess Strom Show. One of my favorite parts of the day, interviewing you, Jess, after we just talked for 14 hours in a row. Here's some more talking by the Cal U women's basketball coaching staff about nothing more and nothing less than Cal U women's basketball. How's your day, Jess?
Great. Favorite part of my Tuesday.
The Jess Strom Show?
Yeah.
I know. Just get so excited for it. You know, running all over here in the cold. I mean, you sprinted over here today. Unfair. I had to chase you.
That's my regular walk.
Yeah. That's one thing for the viewers that don't know. Jess Strom has the fastest walk I've ever seen. It's not normal. That is not a normal pace of people walking. Like I'm a Mosier. I can say that. Like I look around, I talk to people. You get right to the point. Always like that? Not one for small talk. Also for people that don't know.
I was just thinking about
What?
the people that speed walk like in the Olympics, and I was wondering if I could do that, but then I was wondering if my leg would hold up.
I think
So anyways, yes, I walk extremely fast on a regular
always?
basis.
Is this
yes.
like a thing?
I have
Why-
places to go.
You just have a purpose.
All the time.
Have you been
Yes.
was that before you had children even or after? Like I feel like when you have kids, you kind of move at a different pace because you have things to do.
No, just always.
You've just always
have
been
somewhere
like
to
that.
be. Yes.
Like even when you walked to class in college, you walked like that?
I took the bus, but when I got off the bus, yes.
Like why? Were you rushing?
No, just
Okay.
the pace I move.
Yeah,
Fast.
it's fast all the time. Folks, it's actually outrageous. Like I always settle down here. Like what are we doing? Where do we got to go? Like, you know, the studio isn't leaving anywhere. We just have to be here on time. But we were moving and grooving this morning. But anyway, Cal U women's basketball. Crazy week. Coming off Edinboro, that was a tough loss at Edinboro. Had to prepare for IUP. It's been a week of the top teams in the league. So we had IUP, which was on Wednesday, which seems like 10 years ago, but literally it was basically 1 week.
Yeah.
Talk to us a little bit about the IUP game.
I think the first thing when I think back, obviously it's hard to think about, you know, Gannon's fresh in my mind, but I feel like at IUP, we had a great crowd. I feel like the energy sticks out to me. I think we had good fans. They were loud. It was exciting. But I think our players brought the energy. So I think it was easy to cheer for. I think from the beginning, we just came out and kind of jumped on them.
Well, it was shots. I mean, I felt like it was.
I think
we
we're 8 for 8.
Yeah, it had to be one of the highest field goal percentage of any quarter that we've ever had this year.
Yeah, it had to be. I think we started out 8 for 8.
I would love to look at that in terms of quarter in the past 5 years. I can't remember making that many consecutive shots, like boom, 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 and then getting stops, boom, boom, boom. We started off with a.
Yeah, and I think, which was good, we continued to go. You know, sometimes we have some ups, some downs, some ups, some downs, and I feel like that game, we got up and we stayed up, you know, the whole way through.
Yeah, and it feels like, honestly, does it feel like a long time ago to you?
Yeah, I'm actually trying to remember, and it's hard for me to
And there's going to be
because
highlights.
we've moved on. Obviously, we had Gannon, and now we have moved on to Seton Hill, so it's kind of like 3 games back in my mind.
But they're showing highlights right now, so for the viewers that are watching, you know, I think it's
what's happening. Probably making shots.
probably making shots. Typically, they always show scores.
Steals the score.
Yeah, but I really just I love watching the stops.
Yeah.
You
No,
know?
I think we did a good job thinking back on that game, executing our game plan, which was to pressure them. They really like to, against us, especially pound it inside. They have a really good post player. So I feel like we did a good job kind of taking her out of what she likes to do, more so by our pressure, on the guards trying to make those passes. So I think it was an intense game. Now that I think about it, some talking back and forth. But I think we did a good job keeping our cool. And just pressuring them.
And finishing out the job too. Having the lead, keeping the lead, maintaining it, and really holding tight throughout the whole game.
Yeah, there was never a time that I was like, oh no, they're
Exactly.
going to come back. Oh no, I felt like we were just solid.
In
throughout.
control, in the driver's seat the whole game. And let's go talk about this, and this is the tough one. This, to me, was one of the toughest losses that we've had all season, especially at home, was our game on Saturday versus Gannon. Thought we played tremendous for 38 minutes.
Yeah, I thought we played extremely hard.
Yep.
This one was tough because I feel like earlier in the season when we would lose, we could just say, well, we didn't try that hard.
Or our energy
we
wasn't
could have
right.
definitely had more effort. Now it's like, man, we tried extremely hard and just they made shots. We made some mistakes. We missed 10 free throws. So these ones are hard for me to take because we did play really hard. I feel like our effort deserved to win that game.
And I was telling somebody this after the game, I think my family members, at my niece's birthday party, that after so many years of coaching, those losses don't hurt any more or less than they did 25 years ago.
No, they're still terrible.
Why
you still think about it for the whole next day.
Why do they hurt so bad? Like, I can't get over like that feeling of, it was like dread. You play so hard, you're right there, one of the top teams, a big rival in the PSAC and has been for a long time. For us trying to fight to make our way into the playoffs for seeding and just for our confidence, for us to finish out a big game. It was tough.
Yeah, it was terrible, actually. After and then, but it wasn't mad.
No.
Sometimes after games, you're just mad. I feel like that feeling was more disappointed, sad, because all the work they put in. Like for us, okay, we've won, we've lost those games, fine. Like we've been there, but these guys, they deserve to win that. They have put in a lot of work. They have come together. They have just
changed the whole trajectory of the season.
They've just stuck with it. There was points in the season where I feel like it could have went one way or the other. There was some bad times, some losses where I felt like we were down. And they have stuck with it, come together, kept playing hard, practicing hard. So that's what makes it hard. I feel like we know the backstory, all the hard work that goes into it. It's not just game time. I know they were talking about it, but it's hard for them to get up at 5:30 in the morning and watch film. Who wants to do that?
Not I.
Yeah, and especially a college student. I can do that fine, but for them, it's a lot. So I feel like those losses are hard because of the time and effort.
And how we played the game.
And how we practice every day. So there's a lot that goes into it to be let down, because I feel like they felt the same.
Oh my goodness!
You know what I mean? It was all of us. So.
And you know that the intention is always good. I say that there's some times that you think back in your basketball career, maybe at other places that I've been to, that maybe someone didn't want to execute the game plan or didn't feel like they had the energy to, or maybe were selfish. Just different. You've seen so many different teams. But for this one, it was the intention was good. No one wanted not to make a play or a shot or. Get a 50-50 ball. The intention was the intention to win and to play hard and, just didn't get the job done.
And I think we did a good job. I think we pressured them. I think they were having a hard time when we were getting up. And I just think it came down to a few plays. We fouled when we didn't need to foul. They had an open shot and they made it. And I feel like it's just those plays at the end are really, really important.
But you know what? That game had to be put to bed. The focus had to shift. We had Saturday evening, Sunday to kind of, I guess, mourn that loss. Not really even Sunday because, we're watching film. But Seton Hill, getting ready to go. Have to see them at home. Top team in the PSAC. Obviously scoring in bunches. Unsure of the status of one of their players who had a huge impact on our game. Don't know where that is. How do you shift your focus?
Oh, it's actually helpful to shift your focus. So
doubt.
as soon as you start watching, then you're like, okay, we can now focus on Seton Hill. Now we got to get this one. So I prefer to do that, right away, start watching who we play next. But yeah, I mean, credit to them. They've been playing extremely well without her, without Christiane Fry, who was their leading scorer.
And a staple there. I mean, she's been there 5 years.
Yeah.
And somebody who's just competed and played really hard.
Yeah, and for them, they scored over 100 points without her last game. So,
impressive.
I mean, they are still scoring. People are stepping up for them. But just how they play, you got to be ready to go. You have to be ready to run on both ends of the floor.
Track shoes.
Yeah, you got to be
Makes
ready
misses.
to go.
You got to be ready to defend the three-point line and defend the rim.
Yeah.
You got to be
Quickly.
ready to roll fast. But you know what that takes? A lot of communication.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like that's half the battle, is just getting in position where you can go and match up quickly?
Yeah, and just being aware. I feel like against them, you cannot fall asleep for a second because they will take advantage. And they can score in bunches. So if you fall asleep for one possession, then they get going. You can't let them get going.
And I have this feeling, but I'm wondering if you have this feeling. I feel like we are in a completely different place than when we played them. They beat us, and they beat us pretty good on their home court. I feel like we're in a much better place here, and just, really, really kind of seeing some better basketball from us.
Yeah, and if you think back about that game, I think we beat them in a lot of categories, except probably shooting percentage, if I remember right. Because typically they get a lot more possessions than everybody else.
Yeah, I mean, they scored.
And we typically do also. But I think that game we had even more possessions, more opportunities to score. I just don't think we put the ball in the basket. And then our third quarter was just horrendous. But I think we were much better than that now.
What do you learn from, we've seen them play. You've seen them play when we watch other teams play. I mean, we've seen everybody in the PSAC play multiple times. This is not new to us. Do you think it's helpful the second time around? Like, how they guarded, what they did. I mean, it's going to be a different game, I think, because of it. The players could be different.
Yeah.
How do you prepare?
I think it is because you've played them once already. Not for me or for you, but for our players, they've experienced that. So they know how fast they go. So like for us, if we're watching it, we can say, you got to really get back, right? Like they go fast, they go in transition. But if you have played them already, you understand how fast they really do go in transition. So I feel like, yeah, it's helpful, and for them too, I feel like we probably didn't pressure them as much as we're pressuring the ball right now. So I think for us, the second time around, it might be a little different for them, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. It feels a little different. I heard so many people comment the last few games, like, yes, this is the Cal U that we're used to in terms of defensive effort and energy. Do you agree? For sure. It's definitely different. And I think you're seeing, obviously we lost 2 close games and then we won against IUP, but these are good teams we're playing. Like these are solid teams. And I just think, our energy is completely different. Like we are dictating now on the defensive end, whereas before we were allowing teams' offenses to dictate to us. What would we do? And so what are you looking most forward to tomorrow?
Just to see the difference, from the last time we played them to this time. I feel like we just have a different attitude about us, obviously. Hopefully we take care of the ball. That's a big thing. They get teams on, they turn people over. I feel like they're the only team in the PSAC that turns people over more than us, probably.
Yep. And they try to wear you down.
They do.
And at this time of the year, I think, fatigue is setting in at all programs. I mean, you're practicing hard, you're playing hard. It's a long season. So it's kind of like who can outpunch the other? Who can stay within themselves? Who can execute, different systems? Like we have our system, they have theirs.
Yeah.
What do you think you have to do that?
I just think for tomorrow, we need to take care of the ball. I think we need to pressure them, make them uncomfortable. Take away what they like to do. Take away transition points, take away the 3-point shot. Just force them a little bit out of control.
Absolutely. Well, you heard it from Jess Strom. Details about the game tomorrow. Cal U versus Seton Hill, 5:30 p.m. tomorrow, which is Wednesday, at the Convocation Center. This is the second time around for the PSAC. Standings matter. All games matter for that.
For
fact.
sure. Yeah, we have 6 left, and they're all super important.
Where is the time going, Jess? who knows? But, you can't wait until March and wish for a second chance.
Yep.
You got to get it done now to get yourself into the playoffs to compete. And then at that time, you think anybody has a chance? We've heard it from multiple people.
I heard it from Alicia Young, so it must be right.
Her word is set. So you heard it. Anybody that gets in gets a chance. These games are like playoff games. Vulcan Nation, see us 5:30 p.m. Watch us at the Convocation Center. You can watch us online at www.calvulcans.com. See you next time on the Jess Strom Show.